So today I'm going to show you how to make this Celtic knot design. Now this one, you might be able to see, has some interlooping hearts. There are actually 4 of them all together in this one. Now the Celtic people were and are from the area that is now known as the United Kingdom. So we're talking Scotland, Ireland, England. They'd come up with these beautiful designs that give this illusion of things being woven together. So it looks like things are going over and under each other. Now these designs are really interesting because it's like a ribbon and it's continuous. If you follow the line, it continues on into the next shape, weaving in and out of each other. This is a fairly simple one, but the Celtics have a lot of much more complex designs out there. But today I'm going to show you how to do this Celtic woven heart design. All right, so let's get started with our Celtic knot to create a heart. So to start off for this, I have my little sketch up in the corner to help remind you of the steps, but you're just going to be drawing it once large. I'm going to start by doing a square on its point, or a diamond, but we want them to have fairly equal sides. Now, we want this to start off very sketchy because we're going to be adjusting these a lot as we go, so there will be a lot of erasing. So always start very light. Don't worry about making lines perfect or dark right now. Now, next thing I want to do is I want to put a little X right in the center. So trying to kind of line it up with the center there, draw a little X. Okay. Now, we are going to do 2 hearts. Now, these hearts are going to be on their side. The heart's going to come out from the center there, and the part where the heart comes back in, kind of that tip, is there. And then it's going to come out this way and connect in here. So you see how that created that heart? So the key things with this heart comes together in the middle there on that X. And then our 2 little bumps of the heart, they're going to come straight out from that diamond shape we made. That's going to be key later. Now you want them to be about the same size, give or take. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to come out from the center, and it's going to come in to this line here of our diamond. And I'll go the other side. I'm going to come out from the center, curve, and in through that diamond edge. Check to make sure your hearts are about the same size. So if you look really closely, we have 1 heart here, 1 heart here, and we even have 2 kind of funky hearts if you go this way, 1 heart, and then upside down, another heart. So we've got our basic design. Next thing we need to do is turn them into ribbons because we want this to look like a Celtic knot. Celtic knots are designs that give that illusion of kind of ribbons weaving under and over each other. So we need to turn this line into a thick line. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to sketch my way around, keeping it about the same thickness everywhere. You know what, I might go a bit thicker than that. So I'm going to work my way all the way around, but I want to try to keep it the same. So when I hit this X, I'm going to kind of flip sides a little bit. So it's going to go to the inside corner here. There we go. And then it's going to follow that line down. And then we go back up the other side. So I'm just pretending like I'm following that line around. So instead of thinking as a heart with a bump, think of it as individual lines that'll all end up connecting to each other. So as I come over here, I'm going to loop around this bump of the heart and then come back into the center. Now remember at the center, we kind of flip our line. So I'll come over to the other side of the line. There we go. And around over into this side of the heart. Come around the side here. Now, instead of bumping up the other side, I'm just going to keep this line going straight. All the way up to the top of the point, and it connects back into the beginning. So you see how this actually created one very long continuous line. So let's say if we start up here at the top, I can follow it. I can go down, just going to curve around, come up, curve around, bottom up, curve, curve, back to the top. All right, so at this point, once you have all your lines drawn, I suggest you take a second and clean things up. Like my center here got a little thin. I want all my spots to be about the same thickness. And I think this looks better if your ribbon shapes are a bit thicker. So I kind of want to go through and make everything a bit thicker, honestly, because we want it to have some shadings. We're going to make it look like they're weaving on top of each other in our next step. So I'm going to go through and kind of clean up my lines, thicken them up. Now is the time to decide where your lines are really truly going to be for this project. Now, if you wanted, you could get out a ruler for these straight lines to make them absolutely precise. I'm not going to, but you are welcome to if you want. And I see how this side's a lot thinner than there. I want to thicken up this side a bunch. If we have that illusion of a continuous ribbon going all the way around, we've got to make sure it's that same thickness everywhere. It's like a little much. There we go. Loop them this way. Sorry, you can hear my dog in the background. He's chewing up one of his toys. Sorry about that. And this one's going to loop around. There we go. Let's thicken up that bit. And that edge thicker. There we go. I like that a little bit better. All right. Now that we got our continuous ribbon, next thing we got to do is to make it look like they're weaving on top and over each other. So we want it to look like they're really creating that woven design of over, under, over, under. That's what's going to make this have a really cool illusion. So let's start at the very top, and we're going to go down to the right. This one, we're going to make this piece that we're following be on top. So I'm going to grab my eraser. Oh no, where's my eraser? There's one. Since this piece is on top, I'm going to erase inside of it. So you see how now that other piece goes behind it? That's what we're looking for. So we always want to go over, under, over, under. So if that one went over, this next one, we want this line to go underneath, which means that this one will go on top. So that means I'll need to erase here. See how I have over, then under. Now if we follow it around, we want to go over top again. So that means this one will be on top. Erase the line that way. So I see I got over, under, over. And what's cool is if we follow this way, now we have over, under. Always creating that pattern. Over, under, over, under. So we have over, now we want under. So that means our line's going to go this way. I'll erase my lines inside. Over, under, over. So this one's going to go this way. So I erase my lines there. Guys seeing that pattern? Over, under, over, under, over. That means this one will go under. So that means this direction is going to stay. Under, now over. So this direction. And as we come back together, it goes under. So we see how that created our continuous loop. Over, under, 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 back to the top. See how it all loops back together. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean up all of my lines, get rid of all the extra stuff, erase things that shouldn't be there. I'll come back to you when my lines are all cleaned up. Let's speed through this a bit faster. Okay, so we have our basic design. I've gone through and cleaned it up, got my lines a little darker. If you wanted to at this point, you could ink up your outer lines. So that's going to be with pen or marker or something like that. Now there's one last thing we want to do. Sorry, that was my dog Tucker. You want to add some shading to this. So for shading, we want to really emphasize that illusion of one ribbon going on top of another one. So the one on top needs to be lighter, the one below darker. So in each spot where it looks like they're going over each other, we're going to add just a little bit of shading. Now you don't want to overdo it with a lot, but we're going from dark to light and we want to smudge it out to make it look like that ribbon is truly going underneath that one. So you're going to work your way around the entire thing, and you're going to just add a little bit of shading. Dark, out to light, dark, out to light, smudge, smudge. Remember, with good values, you want to have dark to light nice and smooth. You don't want to see any stripes of values. You want them to be blended in with each other so you don't see any harsh edges. Now we're going to do this around our entire thing, finding every spot that's going underneath and giving it some value coming out and smudging it to blend it out. There we go. So you can see how shading really adds to this illusion. The better you shade, the better it's going to look. I advise at the very end going back through with eraser, cleaning up any areas you need to, making the areas that are supposed to be light nice and bright, maybe cleaning up any outer edge to make them nice and dark, making it look as good as you can. Now you can take this up a notch with difficulty by adding some color. So you could do this with different colors, and as you work its way around, you add lighter and darker versions of the color to give it that value. You could even do some color blends. Maybe you start with one color going light and dark as it's going under and over, and then all of a sudden it switches to a different color. That could do for these two upside down and right side up hearts really easily. Or you could do lots of little ones and blend from one color to another. Try things out, see what you can do. If you want, you can start with this one and then challenge yourself with more complex Celtic knots. There's lots of different ways to do them online, lots of different tutorials you could find if you were into this. Good luck, can't wait to see your Celtic knots.